Good morning. It's Ros Boundy here. Ready for another live stream card reading on my Lenormand cards, using the Lenormand cards. And I can see that definitely on the Facebook My Time, so that's done. This time I have put the right, just I had an echo in my head here because I was monitoring the YouTube, so it's definitely going there properly this morning as well. So that's why the hesitation. Going to move over to the card spread. Not similar, it's the same shape as yesterday. So there we go. I think I'm going to use this one for a little while yet. In the shape of the heart, so past, present, future. Okay, so what we're starting with this morning, we've got the cross, the garden or the park, the cross, the park, and the birch broom. So it's almost like we're bringing in what we've sorted out. We've sort of dropped those responsibilities that we're not needing to take up anymore. Along the lines of that's what the cross is. It is responsibilities. We've actually dropped and cleaned out and realigned with what we're actually wanting to be responsible for, what we don't have control over, but we know that we need to. But giving back to some that haven't always had the responsibility that needed to, but we took up, but now we're giving it back type of thing. So that's what's being brought in from the past. That park and having the time, well, basically out in nature, it's that connection with what is the source, I suppose. It's what my feeling is. So we've actually connected in with what we're needing to. Oh, can't hear me. Oh, let me see. Hold on. Good morning, Rosie. And Kathy, good morning. Sorry, I actually wake on time this morning. And Diane, good morning. Good morning, Tracy. I forgot to do the hellos. We haven't, I can't hear you. I'm not sure why you can't. Try your volume, because it seems to have been sometimes when a person's done that and there's not a whole run of people suggesting that I haven't got sound. I have double checked it and I can hear it on the others. Yeah, you can now? Oh, good. Okay. So I'll continue onward. Good. Yeah, thanks, Kathy. Yeah, sometimes it can be volume or a little, the plug or connection. It depends on your Wi-Fi, all sorts of different things. So now where was I? Bit funny because I was just wanting to get into this reading because it's just so. I'm actually enjoying learning, like doing this new spread, the shape of the heart. So I'm figuring out as I go what the story is with it, because I haven't read up on what. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And we've got the birch broom there. So it's really that cleaning out and realigning of what we are actually taking up as our own responsibilities. That's what I'm feeling with these three that are the past, what we're actually bringing into what's currently happening for us today. Keep in mind that these readings are more so for general. Good morning, Corinda. Nice to see you here this morning. For the general day energy you put into what you're receiving as being the priority, of course. So you are needing to tune in a bit to your own intuitive senses. So um, that's where I'm feeling this one. It is to do with what our roles, responsibilities is, and it is your responsibility to actually take up, clean out, take up what we actually receive as our direction, our intuitive senses. So, Corinda, what platform am I using? Oh, you're loving it, eh? It's actually what I'm using is two. So I'm using eCam through Restream, that is going to where you're coming in from, and that's what I'm using in Be Live. I am using the eCam virtual camera into the Be Live to actually bring this presentation here now in the Be Live, which is the mytimetv.live and YouTube. So there's 6 channels I'm simulcasting to, I suppose you could say. Good morning, Sharon. Lovely to see you here this morning. It is a little early for a Sunday, isn't it? Because it's Sunday the 3rd of January, and it's a day after the night I went out for a party last night. I'm feeling a bit, I'm not saying seedy, but it is, tired. Yeah, it is nice, Corinda. It's a very nice setup. I like how this presents. So with that there, we're bringing in from the central, which is the present moment, right? We've got from here the mice. They're in the background, and it's interesting that that's where they are because of the way that I'm reading this layout is the further away. It's that a little more in the timeline. But present moment, it makes it a little bit harder to sort of read it. There's that's happening in the background. We've got someone or something, and it could literally be mice floating around somewhere in your house, or it could be people who are stealing those little bits and pieces of you in your resources. Or it takes me back to the days when I had the kids were young. Sometimes you'd wonder, I'm sure I had money in my purse. Sometimes they'd just sneak a few coins occasionally, and you sort of realise, oh, I don't know. It's that sort of sense with that one. But I love the mouse card because it is so, well, it's full of anticipation and excitement because here's all this food to take advantage of, and they hoe into it. And even to the point, here's this one that's swinging away on his little bit of thread that's nearly going to have him fall down. So it's bringing in that opportunistic type of feeling through the day to day, and especially with the roll of the dice, we just don't know when that might be. But at the moment, for today, this is part of what your day might bring forward. And especially since pathways in a maze, in the labyrinth card like we've got here, is coming up with, that sometimes the path isn't always obvious, but we end up getting to that, the goal, to that central point for the rest you do tend to sit down and rest in there, contemplate, have meditation, that type of thing. The labyrinth is a little bit more what you see with that type of thing, where you do spend a little bit of time in the center and doing that contemplation meditation. So I'm feeling in this respect, we've got, we are traveling our path, and it can be a bit like that, the roll of the dice, that bit of chance, the happening of, wow, I found something that's going to really entice me to indulge, I suppose. Just be wary that it's not an overindulgence through the day to day. It does remind me a little bit of those wonderful roast Sunday dinners that we used to have as children and when we were kids. It was the Sunday roast, and huge leg of mutton and wonderful amount of veggies, and sometimes it was the treat that we'd have with our desserts. And this is going back a few years. So, to see what that's going to bring for you today. Then we're moving back up to the top, to the crest. So we've actually got the mountains and the dog and the coffin. It's indicating really that we got the challenges coming up, this being the future side. So we've got the challenges coming up in that mountainous terrain. It builds muscle and strength, character, fortitude, all those types of strong words. And there is a reindeer here that's going to be reminding us that we are in that realm of what we're comfortable with. If you imagine yourself to be that creature, the animal that is in its natural environment, like those goats that climb the sides of mountains that you'd think, oh wow, put yourself in that sort of frame of mind as you meet these challenges coming up. What timeline that is, who knows? But it's just that little bit of not fully today, but what's coming into the future with these three. So certainly do take a dog for a walk. If you've got a dog, take the dog for a walk. It's the reminder to me to take my dog for a walk because I haven't done it for a while. So today's going to be sometime it's going to be outside taking Peanuts out, playing with a ball, anything like that, because the loyalty that's around us needs to be rewarded sometimes. We can't just have them, pat on the head, there, dear doggy. Give that extension of a reward, and that can probably translate even to those people that are around us. Just say, thank you, let's spend some time together and enjoy that in your day to day at some point too. There's certainly going to be some things that you're going to leave by the wayside, or in that context of, look, I've really got to bury this, even if it's a dog's bone in some respect. There's stuff around you that really needs to be gotten rid of or buried, probably even some feelings, grudges, that type of emotional type thing as well. So do keep it in mind if you have that coming up for you for today. So, it's the challenges that are going to really strengthen us, but get out and get the breath of fresh air with walking your dog. And then you can actually release, because I feel the coffin is more of a release too. I think it's quite interesting that we've got both the cross and the coffin, which are, releasing what's been released in the past. It's almost I'm sensing that it's also to do with what still needs to be released, and do that type of thing. And Tracy, you're saying very high attitude. Look, sometimes it can be that too. It certainly can be, attitude, the way, or it's just a way of changing our perspective and how the angle we're looking at things. So I think that's part of it as well. So thank you for asking that. Now, Corinda, just coming, whoops, I'm on the wrong page. Corinda, coming back to some of your comments, yes, because you have put here, I just didn't want to interrupt the flow of what was the card reading whilst you were placing these ones up here. So the haps, yes, I have. Eileen Smith had something about that on. I've seen that. And for those who are just here still with the this is beside the card reading. Haps is a live streaming source, I think, a platform, like I mentioned about the eCam and the BeLive. So, and it is an Apple pen. So what I'm using is the special Apple pen that goes with an iPad. So the technology that we use is absolutely wonderful. We've got so many wonderful tools these days, and it is a pleasure to be here to share in the way that I do these card readings every morning. I love it. So thank you for being here. So that's the reading for today. Look, feel free to hop over to it. Now, I haven't got a little text for that, but I've got a Ros Bounty Psychic Medium card reading group. I'll put you just search for anything that's Ros Bounty on the Facebook and you should find it. If you want to come into that group to put in comments or start discussions about anything, ask questions, certainly feel welcome to actually ask to join that group. It's a private group. I don't have any fee associated with that or anything. It's just for fun, and I haven't worked it really well yet. But I'm wanting to actually get some conversation going around the cards, whether it's a Lenormand tarot, other things, esoteric or etc. So what you feel you need to ask questions about. So I'm going to leave that there. You can see from, got to get my finger off, from that there, that's my Ros Bounty, that's the page, the business page, and the website that is everything's always in motion of change and improvement, isn't it? So if you see anything on the website itself that you feel needs improvement or changing around, I'm open to suggestions. And it's just fun doing all this stuff and creating what is. I like it. Thank you for being here, because you are a big part of it. Keep being the best you that you can be, and I'll see you tomorrow around the 8 o'clock in the morning again. Namaste.